Bhagavath Katha. Namo Om Vishnapadaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Veswamiti Namini. Namo Om Vishnapadaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Veswamiti Namini. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासर गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. I pay my obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Prabhupada. I express all my gratitudes and make many praise to Srila Prabhupada for giving all of us a golden opportunity to go back to Godhead. All go to Srila Prabhupada for his wonderful devotional services to Srimati Radharani and Lord Gopinath. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. We are doing this Bhagavath Katha. It's in English till 9:30. And we are doing the first canto, 5th chapter, and today we are doing the 14th verse. Please repeat with me the verse slowly. I will tell and later narrate. Tato anyata kinchana yat vivaksata pratak drisha tat krita rupa namavihi nanakachit Swapi cha dustita matihi labeta vatahata now ivaspadam tato anyata kinchana yad vivaksataha pratak drishaha tat krita rupa namabihi na kachit swapi cha dustita matihi labeta Vatahata now ivaspadam tato anyata kinchana yad vivakshata pratak dishatat kritaha rupanamibihi na karhechit swapi cha dustita matihi labeta vatahata now ivadam tato anyata kinchana yad vivakshataha pratak dishatat kritarupa namabihi na tarchitva picha didamadihi lavetavantahata now virvaspadam. The word-to-word meaning of this verse is tataha, from that, anyata, apart, kinchana, something, yet, whatsoever, vivakshataha, desiring to describe, kritak, separately, drishaha, vision, Tatkrita, reactionary to what? That Rupa, form, Nabhihi, by names, Namabihi, by name, Nakarchet, never, Kwapi, any, Cha, and Dustita, Matihi, oscillating mind, Labeta, gains, Vatahata, troubled by the wind, Now, boat, Iva, light, Aspadam, place. Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord, simply text with different forms, names and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. This is instructed by Devashi Narada to Vyasa Bhagavan. Vyasa Bhagavan is compiling the epic Mahabharata and has split the one Veda into four Vedas, Yajurveda, Rigveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, and as well he has compiled 18 Puranas and Upuranas. After that, when he started compiling the writing of this Srimad Bhagavatham, he, for a while, he was in a mood how to make the compilation. Because in the ensuing Kali Yuga time, people do not are less intelligent. They do not understand if it is given in a very complicated way. While he was thinking like that, Narada Maharshi appears over there. Though he is also Vyasa Bhagavan, is the incarnation of God and is all knowledge, he himself is the spiritual master, because since the time of birth, when he was 16 years old, at the time of birth, he had all knowledge. He was Sarvagna. But while for compilation was thinking about the how to do it for easy understanding of the people in the Kali Yuga time, Narada Maharshi appeared and he started instructing Vysadeva how it should be composed. See, Vyasadeva is the editor of all descriptions of the Vedic literatures. That is what I told earlier just. He is the author of the Mahabharata, the great epic. He is split the Vedas, as well he has written 18 Puranas and Upuranas. And thus he has described the transcendental realization in different ways, namely by fruitive activities, like in Mahabharata, both Dharma and Adharma was described in detail in Mahabharata, and also described translation in the different ways, namely by fruitive activities, speculative knowledge, mystic power, and devotional service. Besides that, it is various Puranas. He has recommended the worship of so many demigods in different forms and names, because demigods are also devotees of Krishna, and Krishna Paramatma is there as Antaryami in every living being, not only human beings, whether it is animals, birds, insects, worms, trees, and in all devatas. Devatas in this English language is known as demigods. So this Vyasa Bhagavan, he recommended the worship of so many demigods in different forms and names. The result is that people in general are puzzled how to fix their minds in the service of Lord. They are always disturbed about finding the real path of self-realization. Here I can tell you, illustrate one example. 3 persons are going in a boat to cross over the stream of water. At the time what happens, heavy rains comes, the boat is about to drown in the river. At that time what happens, those 3 people belong to 3 different religions. One is Hindu, one is Christian, one is Muslim. The Christian, he prays, "Oh Jesus Christ, please save me, save me." And the other Muslim, he says, "Oh Allah, save me." But the Hindu, he started calling, "Oh Krishna." And in the next second, he started, "Oh Hanuma." And like this, he called all many devatas, Durga, Parvati, Saraswati, everyone he was calling. He created a confusion. By the creation of this confusion, the two who were just relying on that Jesus and Allah was saved, but this man, he had to be drowned in the water. Like that, confusion is created. So one should understand, we should worship the ultimate God, that is Krishna Paramatma, and he is having many incarnations. You can worship any of the incarnations. It's not that you should worship only Krishna over here in the temple. You can worship as Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, or Radha Balram, Krishna Balram, or Rama, Srinivasa, Varaswami, Narasimha Swami, and so many things are there. So he is having thousands of this thing, as the creation has taken lakhs and lakhs of yugas before. Even the scientists have agreed that creation is many crores of years ago. It has taken place. So like that, we need to worship Krishna Paramatma, the Supreme God, in any of his incarnation, but at the same time, we need to respect all the demigods, devatas, because they are all the part and parcels of Krishna Paramatma. They are doing their own duties, which are assigned to them by the Supreme Lord. So, whenever we go to, for any reason, we visit some other temple belonging to a demigod, even if you pray normally, you should only ask for devotion in Krishna. Otherwise, nothing else, because you do not know what type of duty they are assigned. If you desire something from them, they may not be able to give you. And whereas when you go to any temple or this temple over here, you can express your desires. Whatever desires you can put forward for Krishna, even otherwise, Krishna knows when to give, what to give, and he would grant them at an appropriate time convenient to us. Once you surrender with full faith to Krishna Paramatma, he would take care of you. You need not worry about your desires. You can have thousands of desires, not one or two desires in your life, but at the same time your ultimate goal should be to get out of this birth cycle, that is birth and death. This birth and death is not that we are going to get human form in the next life. No, it all depends upon the karma, what we perform, good and bad. If we do bad karma, we may go to hellish planet, or we may take animal or human bird life or insect life. Whereas if you perform good, follow the good path, good virtues, then you might go to higher planets. That's the reason you need to do the good virtues, but without any desires. You should only seek for the samasta lokas, for the benefit, prosperity of all the universes, not just people, human beings in the earth, but all the living beings living in this planet or different planets. Then when you perform like that, you will be qualified to get moksha, that is liberation or salvation, and you will never take any life again, once again. So, the intelligence what we have in this human life, we should use this intelligence properly to move in the path of good way. They are all disturbed. People are disturbed about finding the real path of civilization. Srila Narada Devasi Narada, he is stressing this particular defect in Vedic literatures compiled by Vysadeva, because it is also, Vyasa Maharshi has also narrated about worship of different demigods, and thus is trying to emphasize describing everything in relation with Supreme Lord. There again is not wrong, because again, just as told you earlier, Paramatma is residing in everybody's heart. So when you worship demigod also, if you think him as a Govinda himself and worship him as a Krishna, it is right. But otherwise, you thinking them as a demigod, it will be wrong, because Paramatma is there in everybody. So you should visualize Paramatma in every living being, even the Devatas. So since our mind is in a confused state, the Narada Maharshi is stressing that this particular defect in Vedic literature compiled with Vyasadeva, and is trying to emphasize describing everything in relationship to Supreme Lord and no one else. So that's the reason Vyasadeva has given us this Bhagavatham, which only is related to the Krishna Paramatma and many of his incarnations, not like, because Vyasadeva himself said he cannot narrate all the incarnations, because thousands and thousands of incarnations are there that cannot be narrated easily about everything. So he has, apart from Dasavataras, he has explained many other incarnations like Narayana Avatara, this Hamsa Avatara, Haigra Avatara, and so many. In fact, there is nothing existent excepting the Lord, because everybody is having, every living being, including Devatas, they have life, like human beings. Only the duration of life is different from for us and them. Ant might live, ants or some insects might live only for few hours. Some other animals like cats, dogs, pigs, they might live some 12 to 16 years. Like even the life of cow is only 16 to 18 years. Like that, our life is 100 years. Whereas Devata's life, it is more than that. Devata's life is more than that. And for them, see, in Devendra Loka, the one day for them is our 1 year, equal to our 1 year. So, like that into 365 days, and their lifetime is 10,000 years. So, it happens so. So, everybody's life, everyone excepting for Krishna Paramatma, they are all having life of different duration. The Lord is manifested in different expansions. He has taken so many forms, and our births are not controlled by us. Whereas his incarnation, I don't say it is his birth, he incarnates out of his own will. He has taken the fish form, take the birth in the fish womb, and he has also taken the incarnation of tortoise, Varaha, that is boar, wild boar, and half human being and half lion, like Nrsimha. Like he has his own will. He takes for his own will to save sadhus, that is good people. Sadhu means it's not just monks and who are wearing the saffron clothes. Sadhus are who are the learned persons who are good people doing the dharma, good dharma. So, saving them as well as to punish the evil people, God takes many incarnations. The Lord is manifested in different expansions. He is the root of complete tree. That means when you compare all the universes, not this universe itself, all the universes are one big tree. He is the root cause. He is the creator. He is the original creator. Root is the right process of water to water the tree. See, for any reason, if we need to take care of a plant, we need to water this root, not on the leaves and flowers or fruits. If we pour some water on the leaves and fruits, it does not make any difference for the tree. It does not get what the water is required by it. Until unless you water its roots. If you water its roots, the water will spread over all the parts of the plant, and it will be fresh and gives us the required things like flowers, fruits, vegetables, etc. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva should not have compiled any Puranas other than the Bhagavad Purana, because a slight deviation from that may create havoc for self-realization. But otherwise, since in this world many crores of people are there, everybody are not just inclined to worship the God. For them, the Puranas would help how to worship the demigods and other things. Whereas for the pure learned scholar who is in the path of the God, he needs to understand only the Bhagavatham. He has to understand the God only through the Bhagavatham. And because Puranas and other Bhagavatham, because a slight deviation from that may create havoc for self-realization. We need to understand that our Atma is separate and body is separate. So, and this Atma is eternal, it is always living. Only thing is transgressed from one body to other body. And it all depends upon the virtues, good virtues or bad virtues we execute during our lifetime. If a slight deviation gets havoc, then what is deliberate expansion of ideas separate from the absolute personality of Godhead. The most defective part of worshipping demigods is that it creates definite conception of pantheism, ending disastrously in many religious sects, detrimental to the progress of principles of Bhagavatam. which alone can give the accurate direction for self-realization in eternal relation with the personality of Godhead by devotional service in transcendental love. If in case we follow the Purana, it makes all the people get divided. Some people have faith in some demigod, some people have in a different opinion about other demigod. Like that they would divide, and in this deviation Japan, they will forget about the Supreme God. The Supreme worship is the main aim to get out of this life cycle. The example of the boat disturbed by whirling wind is suitable in this respect. The diverted mind of the pantheist can never reach the perfection of self-realization due to the disturbed condition of the selection of object. Since we have time, now we shall get into the next verse, that is 15th verse. I shall repeat this verse 3 times. As earlier, please tell the verse along with me. I shall do the narration later. Jugupsikam dharma krute anusastaha swabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yad vakyato dharma ititaraha siddho na manyate tasya nivaranam janaha jugupsitam dharma krute anusastaha swabhava raktasya maha vyatikramaha yad vakyato dharma ititaraha sthito na manyate tasya nivaranam janaha jugutsitam dharma krute anusastaha swabhava rakshasya mahan vyatikramaha yad vakyato dharma ititaraha siddho na manyate tasya nivaranam janaha jugupsitam dharma krute anusastaha swabhavo raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yad vakyato dharma ititaro sito na manyate tasya nivasaram janaha. The word-to-word meaning of this verse is jugupsita, very condemned. Dharma krute, for the matter of religion. Anusastaha, instruction. Swabhava, raktasya, naturally inclined. Great. Vyatikramaha, unreasonable. Etivakyataha, under whose instruction. Dharmaha, religion. Itihi, it is thus. Itaraha, the people in general. Sitaha, fixed. Na, do not. Manyate, think. Tasya, of that. Nivaranam, prohibition. Janaha, they. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable, because they are guided under your instructions. They will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. Because Vysadeva, he has, after compiling Mahabharata, he has written 18 Puranas and Upapuranas. In that 18 Puranas and Upapuranas, Vyasamaharshi described of the different devatas, all devatas and demigods, and he has instructed how to worship them. That was a great mistake he had made, because Vyasa Bhagavan's main this thing is to detail about the Supreme Lord. So Narada Maharshi, just at the time of compiling this Bhagavatam, when Vyasa Bhagavan was in sad mood, how to put this Bhagavatam for the people in the Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga the people are very less intelligent, they do not make any difference between Supreme Lord and Devatas. So they will be, if they go through the Puranas, they will worship demigods, that is Devatas, and they make equal of Devatas and Supreme Lord one and the same. So Narada Maharshi was advising him, and he condemned that, verily condemned that one, and he said it is unreasonable, because they are guided under your instruction, because Vyasa Bhagavan has given that Puranas and Upuranas, so people will be misled. So because they are guided under your instruction, they will accept such activities in the name of religion. Saying it is a religious activity, when they act according to that one, they will not go through the conditions laid down over there. Just they see that Devatas, worship of Devatas is mentioned, they started worshipping Devatas, and they treat equally with Supreme Lord. Srila Vyasadeva's compilation of different Vedic pictures on the basis of regulated performance, fruitive activities is depicted in Mahabharata, and other literature is condemned here with Srila Narada Maharshi. Because those, either the Mahabharata, which is considered as Panchama Veda also, and other Purana Upapurnas, they are mainly required for in this Kali Yuga time for achieving their desires, materialistic desires. For achieving materialistic desires, they need those literatures. But otherwise, the person who is on the path of the self-realization and who wants to achieve salvation in this life, it would lead him in a wrong way. The human beings, by long mental association, life after life, have a natural inclination by practice to endeavor to Lord with over material energy. Because this is not the only life we are having. Earlier we had many lakhs of lives in different forms. Maybe sometimes we must have born as a human being also. But that is different. Again, because of committing some sins, we must have gone back into the animal life. So like that we have been suffering, and we had different desires in different births. So like that, being naturally inclined to that type of practice, we will be lording over this material energy for achieving those desires. There are no sense of the responsibility of this human life. God has given out of kind and sympathy with intelligence only to go back to Godhead. Otherwise, if we still try to mislead ourselves, nobody is misleading us. We are misleading by ourselves only, following our own earlier practice. So we should have some responsibility in this human life. They have no sense of the responsibility in human life. This human form of life is a chance to get out of these clutches. That is, going back to Godhead, and will not return to this earth for taking any other life. Nor will go to any other higher planet to enjoy the temporary happiness. It is not eternal. The Vedas are meant to going back to Godhead. Like that, the one Veda which was split into 4 Vedas by Vyasa Bhagavan is only to go back to Godhead. Whereas in the Mahabharata is also the same as the Panchama Veda. But in that one, it is based on the understanding by the respective human beings, individuals. If they take to the Adharma part, they will be understanding only Adharma part in the Mahabharata. So what we need to have, we will not achieve. Only by serious concentration in Bhagavatham, we can understand the Supreme Lord, and we can make all efforts to go back to Godhead. The Vedas are meant for going back to Godhead, going back home, because the present home is not our permanent home, it is also temporary. As long as we are living, they are our home. Otherwise, once we leave this world and go to other world, that home is not us. Our original home is only the going back to Godhead. to revolve in the cycle of transmigration in a series of lives, numbering about 84 lakhs different living beings, different jivas, is an imprisoned life. Like when the dacoits or thieves or some criminal, when they are given some punishment by the judge, they will be put behind the bars in the jail. Like this entire universe, this earth or the entire universe itself, we need to go to higher planets also. It's like a jail for us. The jiva is bounded by his own desires. So we should get out of this bondage. And imprisoned life and concentrated conditional souls. We are all conditioned souls. We are attracted by this Rajasika, Tamasika and to some extent Satvika also. Because we should have Shuddha Satvika. Purity also of high purity, not just purity. The human form of life is a chance to get out of this imprisoned life. That means this human form is a great form where we can do good deeds and bad deeds. If we do good deeds without any desires, see, for the purpose of benefit of the entire, all the universes, Akhilakota Brahmanda, Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu, then we will get out of this prison of the entire universe and reach the Vaikuntha in any of the planets, any of the universe. And such only occupation of human being is to re-establish his lost relationship with the God. After taking human form, in the womb of the mother we remember, we have seen the God, we promised him, but once we are delivered, we are attracted in this nature, with this materialistic energy. We are attracted by the qualities of the nature. Nature is good, nature is not bad. It is our desires. We are attracted by them. We should never condemn the nature, because this nature only is giving us all the life what we need. And in that one we need to imbibe good things and follow them. But whereas we have forgotten the promises made to God, and we are just by the attraction of this nature, we are doing something else. So such the only occupation of doing is to re-establish our lost relation with the God. We have to build full faith. In full faith we need to surrender to Him. Today unfortunately TTD chairman is, earlier he was a Christian during Jagannath Reddy's period. Now our Chandrababu Naidu has come belonging to our religion, but otherwise he has posted a atheist over there as chairman. Again that will not do any good. It will not do any good to anyone. So under these circumstances one should never be encouraged in making plans for sense enjoyment in the name of religious functions. Such diversion, it's not that we have to disrespect, we cannot disrespect anyone. Human beings we can't disrespect. If somebody is doing some function, if we are invited, we need to go there. But to the extent of that dressing, but we should not take it very serious to our heart and we just follow them. We should follow our own. Worship your own, respect others. That should be our this thing. What my Acharya Chinnajiya Swami has told, worship your own, respect others. Because Paramatma is residing in everyone, not only human beings, all devatas, animals inside. So while worshipping the Supreme Lord, respect others. So attending functions is not wrong. You need to, for this struggle of living in this existence, in this world, we need to follow certain things. In the society we have to follow, participate in them. But only thing we should limit it. Such diversion of human energy results in misguided civilization. Srila Vysadeva is the authority in Vedic explanations in the Mahabharata, etc. And his encouragement in sense enjoyment in some form or other is great barrier to the spiritual advancement. Because people in general, Vyasa Bhagavan cannot force everybody to follow only Bhagavatham or anything. Everybody will have his own this thing. Like I told you earlier, atheist has become the chairman of TTD. Like that everybody will have individual sense of mind. He will act according to his own mind. Okay, nobody can force anyone. So, for the purpose of everybody, the Vyasa Bhagavan has compiled Puranas and Upapuranas. But the person who is path of God, you should never follow them. Otherwise, when you can follow Mahabharata, there is nothing wrong. Only thing, Dharma part of Mahabharata he has to follow. Though he is studying the Adharma also, he should forget that one. Because to know the difference between Dharma and Dharma, both are given. Until and unless we have suffering, we do not know what is happiness. A person who is having continuously happiness, he does not know what is suffering. So we should have both suffering and happiness. This is life cycle. Until and unless one has suffering, he does not know what is happening. Both is a life cycle. Like that one in Mahabharata, Dharma and Adharma, both are described. It is for us to follow which one. If we are intelligent, we follow only Dharma. And the sense of enjoyment and its encouragement in the sense of enjoyment, the form other is created by the spiritual authority, because people in general will not agree to renounce material activities which held them in material bondage. We need to control our mind. Until unless we control our mind, we will not be able to follow going the path of God. At a certain stage of human civilization, when such material activities in the name of religion, as sacrificing animals in the name of ignorance, were too much rampant. See, in earlier Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, when Ashwamedha performed, not just sheep and goat were sacrificed, cows were sacrificed, even the horses were all sacrificed. At that time, rishis, the Brahmins who recited the mantras, they had a great power of penance. They used to, if they sacrificed one horse in the fire, they could produce 10 healthy horses. They used to sacrifice only horse which was unfit for to live in this world, struggling with something. They used to sacrifice such thing and produce 10 healthy things. That was the purpose of the sacrifice during the earlier time. Whereas now it is not like that. So that is the reason all these yajnas with sacrifice are prohibited. We cannot do those things now. They are all prohibited. Too much happened. That's the reason Buddha himself, and again Siddhartha, Gautama Siddha, here it is given as Buddha, as Siddhartha Buddha only. It's not just Siddhartha is the Buddha. There are many Buddhas who accept that God has no form. God has no form and he is just a vacuum. Like that, whoever says, different parts they say. One say it is in the form of a Jyoti, other say it is just vacuum, other one says he has no form. All such people are Buddhas. All such people are the Buddhas. It's not that again in Dasravata there is no form of incarnation of Buddha. That it is the 10th form is yet to take place as Kalki Bhava at the end of this Kali Yuga. It was in V. That means why I am saying V means V Vaishnavas and Sri Vaishnavas. I am a Sri Vaishnava following G.S. Chinnaji Swami, who follow Madhvacharya or all Vaishnavas. Srila Papa is also Gaudiya Vaishnava. We all Gaudiya, whether it is Gaudiya Vaishnava or Sri Vaishnava. There is a little difference between among these three categories. But we all belong to Supreme Lord's faith. So we all say that 9th incarnations Balarama and Krishna. 8th and 9th incarnation nothing but Balarama and Krishna, not Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha is not an incarnation of Lord at all. So Buddha also, he has preached about this ahimsa. Because to ahimsa to be in Kali Yuga, this has to be stopped. For that purpose, God has not only to Buddha, even Krishna has instructed Adi Shankara to preach against the ahimsa. For that reason, even Adi Shankara, he knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Who is Adi Shankara? Adi Shankara is nothing but the incarnation of Shiva. He is the great soul. He is next to the Supreme Lord. He is second after Supreme Lord. But other than that, he is also Jiva like us. Radharani is also Jiva like us. During the annihilation, even Radharani also enters into the stomach of Krishna Paramatma. During the creation, again she also comes back. So like that, we are all Jivas. Only thing we have different lifespan and different powers we have according to one's incarnation, or birth. So this was foreseen by Narada, and therefore we condemn such literatures. The flesh eaters still continue to perform animal sacrifice before some demigod or goddess in the name of religion. But because in some of the Vedic literature, such regulated sacrifices are recommended. Because again, that is wrong in this Kali Yuga time. I told you earlier, they used to sacrifice some animal and produce 10 different animals. Now they can't do that. They don't have power. So it has to be stopped. They are so recommended to discourage flesh eating, but gradually the purpose of such religious activities is forgotten and the slaughterhouses becomes prominent. Nowadays even those animals are not sacrificed, the yajna, yaga, it is prohibited. But at the same time they can be slaughtered in the slaughterhouses. Government has, not only Gautama Buddha, even government has prohibited sacrificing the yagas and yajnas. But they can be cut at the slaughterhouses for eating. It has become like that. It's not that I am telling personally, it is there in the Bhagavatham. I am reading out and explaining to people. They are so recommended to discourage flesh eating, but gradually the purpose of such religious activities is forgotten and the slaughterhouse becomes prominent. This is because foolish people, materialistic men, do not care to listen to others who are actually in a position to explain the Vedic rites. See, here I will give you, earlier, maybe I have told earlier, but I will telling now once again. Paramatma is residing in everybody's heart. That means here he is in the form of Acharupa. This is called temple. Like that, when Paramatma is there, everybody's body, every body is to be considered as a temple, and it should be clean. For that reason, to keep our body clean, we bathe, we wear different clothes, everything. This Paramatma should be kept clean. But otherwise what we are doing, we are cutting some animal, and when we die, what happens? Our body is taken to the burial ground or cremation ground, either do the funeral or they bury it. But whereas what we are doing by cutting the animals, we are making the body as a burial ground for the animals. That should not be done. And scientifically we are doing, and scientifically we do not know that animal with what disease it is suffering. Every animal is not sent for a testing purpose to the lab, then it is cut. They cut irrespective of anything, they cut and eat. So we do not know what disease it is. Scientifically, when we consume that non-vegetarian food, we are infected. We are infected with so many diseases, great diseases we are infected. And we are making this body unfit for our Atma itself. Our Atma will not stay in this thing. When this is disease, it will go away. That means we will become dead. And when plants are living, why we can eat plants is God has given us a creation power. God has given us creation power. Like that, today we are creating, earlier the crops were taken only once or twice in a year. Nowadays, because of hybrid and using so many fertilizers, I think we are taking many crops in a year. And we have from only green capsicum, we have developed yellow capsicum, red capsicum, purple capsicum, like that, local tomato, hybrid tomato, so many things have come. In all vegetables it is there, not only this capsicum, this thing. So we have the creating capacity. When you have the creating capacity, you can consume them. That is the power that is mentioned in Vedas and Shastras. That is the reason we can take. And also, when we go to under the tree will never object. You should not, this food is mine, this leaf is mine, you don't take. It will never say any word. You can accept anything, you can take anything. Because you have the creating capacity. Whereas you can't create an animal. They are trying so many ways to create human beings also, test tube babies. They are unable to. If test tube human form has to come, maybe it will come every 25 years or 30 years. That means this present human population will become extinct. Those test tube babies, takes years together for one person to take birth, and it is not possible and it is not successful. It's not successful, so we should not go follow all those things. Since we can't create animal life, you are not have right to go eat the animals. Today, so many eggs, they are making eggs, all those artificial eggs. From those eggs, you cannot, chicken cannot take its birth. It's only, it's in the form of a egg, but it's not a real egg. Chicken will not take birth from that egg. So, when you don't have the capacity, you should not eat the flesh and all those things. All these things here, it is there in the Bhagavatham. I am only explaining you with some examples so that you need to understand. In the Vedas, it is distinctly said that the perfection of life is never to be attained either by voluminous work or by accumulation of wealth or even by increasing population. But it is to be attained only by renunciation. Again here, renunciation means what you need to renunciate. It's not that you need to become a sannyasi taking to saffron clothes. You have to renunciate your desires. You renounce your desires, you do your karma, you earn, you have all goals, in which one you should have the goal of helping all living beings, whether it's an animal or a tree or a human being, whoever is living. You help everyone in a proper way. If you help a person, human beings, particularly human beings in wrong way who is doing sin, you will be partner in whatever sins he is committing. So that you should not do. The materialistic men do not care to listen to such injunctions. Only few people, there are 70 crores of people outside. Nobody is interested here. Only few people come here to have darshan of the deity as well as also participate in this satsang like Bhagavatham or Ramayana, Mahabharata, whatever it is. Not only here, in other temples where satsang is going on, the people who are convenient to them, they go to their place also. Only few people who can come our place and take participate can understand. Because in the verse, if we tell, Parikshit Maharaj was great to listen, Bhagavatham, the entire 18,000 slokas of 12 cantos directly from Sukamarsi, because he was a learned Sanskrit scholar. Only just Sanskrit slokas was narrated to him, he understood it. Since in this time we can't understand, for each verse we have to give so much of detailed explanation. According to them, the so-called renounced order of life is meant for those who are unable to earn their livelihood because some corporeal defects, or for persons who have failed to achieve properly in family life. Many people, it happens. Today so many fake swamis, acharyas are there. We should not follow them. And so many people, they taken to Vanaprastha or bombs because they can go and beg. And seeing their dress and form, somebody will give charity like that. Like that it has happened. And the many fake swamis, for doing this business as an acharya, they create all other literatures according to their own fashion, making it attractive to their devotees. It's not the God devotees, their devotees, because they make money as a business. Like that. That is all wrong. Histories like the Mahabharata, of course, there are topics, transcendental subjects, along with the material topics. The Bhagavad Gita is also a part of Mahabharata only. It's an Upanishad of Mahabharata. And it's a direct instructions of Krishna Paramatma to Arjuna. Again, he was only Nimitta. Arjuna was only Nimitta. The Bhagavad Gita was explained for the purpose, for our purpose. The whole idea of Mahabharata culminates in the ultimate instructions of the Bhagavad Gita that one should relinquish all the engagements and should engage oneself solely and fully, surrendering materialistic tendencies or more attracted to the politics, economics and philanthropic activities. Because our materialist desire is only for these activities, either the politics or some other activities, economic and philanthropic activities. Mentioned in Mahabharata, then the principal topic, namely the Bhagavad Gita. This is compromising spirit of Vysadeva is directly condemned by Narada. So, who advises him to directly proclaim that the prime necessity of human life is to realize one's eternal relationship with the Lord and the surrender unto Him without delay. Because this life, human life is just 100 years, and as you know, we have to spend some 8 to 10 hours for our dailyhood. To earn something for our living, we need to do. And also we need some resting time. And for food, taking food, cleaning ourselves and all those things. So we have very little time. So in this very little time, we have to directly involve in the service of God. We have to surrender to Him by having full faith in Krishna or any of incarnation. You do your karma. While doing karma, you remember His name and try to propagate with all your relatives and friends, your elderly parents or children, like that. A patient suffering from a particular type of malady is almost always inclined to accept eatables which are forbidden for him. The expert physician does not make any compromise with the patient by allowing him to take partially what he should not take it at all. When you go to the hospital for treatment, doctor will give you a diet regulation. Until unless you follow that one, your disease is not cured. Just by merely taking medicines, it will not be cured. You will have to follow the diet regulations also. Then only it will happen. So like that, in the Bhagavath Katha also it is said that the man attached to sweet work should not be discouraged from his occupation, for gradually he may be elevated in the position of self-realization. The person who is doing his karma according to desires, he should not stop his desire. Again, that is also a sin. Suppose today he might be worshipping some demigods and also doing Bhagavad Gita. Later in course of time, he will leave the other thing. When he understands about the faith in God, he will leave those things. He himself will leave. Nobody will force him. And he will surrender to God. If you force him, what happens? Neither he will worship the demigods or respect them, nor he will worship Krishna. Nothing will happen. That means he is committing sin, greater sin, for which he will be partner in that one. In this one, I just only one this line I tell about my thing. Earlier during my business life, I was also worshipping other demigods and doing all the things along with doing one chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. But since last 25 years, after realizing and me studying by my Acharya, I have 3 Acharyas and 5 Gurus. 3 Acharyas and 5 Gurus. 5 Gurus also I will tell you a little later. After their instructions, I am following only, completely surrendered, and Krishna has tested me with full this thing, whether I am surrendered to him full faith or just I am acting. Yes, like that he has tested. It was very great test for me. Like that. I will tell you a little later after concluding this lecture if you need. Like that, for gradually he may be elevated to the position of self-realization. This is sometimes applicable for those who are only dry empiric philosophers without spiritual realization. But who are in the devotional line need not be always be advised. So, but now I conclude with this verse explanation, and we shall chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 5 times and disperse for now. But again today evening we have Mahabharata and tomorrow we have Ramayana. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please tell loudly again 5 times. Nobody has told. Hare Krishna, loudly please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. स्वस्ति प्रव्या प्रवृत्त्यां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणस्य नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रिया बुद्ध्यात्मते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् परस्मै नारायणाय सर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायण सर्पं सर्वं श्रीकृष्णावस्तु मंगलम नित्य मंगलम। जय श्री राधा रघुनाथ की जय श्री जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा की जय श्री नरसिंह भगवान की जय श्री प्रभु महाराज की जय श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय श्री पंचतत्व की जय श्री भगवत ग्रंथ की जय श्री हरे कृष्ण महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा